All right, Chris G of the Glamping Guy. Today's the big day to put on the deck, and I'm doing it solo this time because my teenagers got all offended that I was going to disown them for not helping me out. But oh, I'm just kidding. You know that, don't you? So we're going to build a deck off of the bed, and you remember from the previous videos, this is actually a superior way of doing it because I avoid a $500 permit, and I'm perfectly legit. And it'll be a nice sitting deck right here with a beautiful view, and it's going to be awesome. So let's get started. Okay, much like the landscaping timbers that I did in the last video, I just put my 2x6s up onto some planks and got everything level and square. Not so much level at this point, but just squared it off to make sure those boards were put together. I also mentioned yesterday, this is a 140 square foot deck, so I don't need to build things to code because the code actually requires brackets to hold these 2x6s into place. That's not necessary. This is going to be sitting on the ground, so this is treated lumber. So you see there I have just decking screws holding that together. I feel fine with that. I mean, this isn't going to fall and people are going to get hurt and things like that. That would be why the building department would not agree with that. But in my county, you have to check for your county, but my county, the 200 square foot deck is the line. Everything above 200 square feet would have to be permitted, unless it's like 10 feet in the air or something like that. And this one's not. It's right there on the ground. So I've already talked to the building department about it, and they're fine with the way I'm doing this. And here I was short one board. I had to go all the way up to the house, and luckily I had another 2x6 at my disposal. So cutting it all to size, putting them all into place. And it was a hot day that day. It got into the 90s, and so I was really sweating like a dog. But just plugging away, trying to get this deck finished by the time, finished so I can start making money off of this glamping site. My 8th unit for Monument Glamping. I ended up putting it, drilling it to the platform, to the landscaping, and then I forgot to give attention to the 1 5/8 inch decking board that was supposed to go on top of it. So the next day I ended up having to take it all apart and get it off. I finally gave up and went oh, that was the parade. The parade was on the 4th of July. This is me on the 5th of July in the morning, and it was raining, so I had my big boots on and stuff. But I had to unhook the whole thing and then get it all level. I didn't record myself getting it level, but had to lift this big thing up and shovel off a bunch of dirt and whatnot to get it level and square for the decking boards on top. And these are just 16-foot decking boards. You can't quite see it off on the left where the dog is, but it was just 2 feet over, and because it's a 14-foot wide deck, and it's just go one screw at a time. Just keep on moving. Keep on moving. A sitting deck is a very important thing to our glamping units. There's one tent that has not been performing as well as these do, and I believe it's because of the sitting deck. The sitting there, you have a large space for your rocking chair or your lounging chair, a grill, maybe a hot tub. Things like that. That's really valuable. We have one unit. It's our lowest performing unit, and it does have lounging chairs on it, but it's very tight. It's very small, and I believe that's the reason why it's not performing well. Is because of this sitting area. I mean, can you imagine? You can't quite see the view beyond the UTV there, but it's really a beautiful view up the hill, and just the grasslands of our backyard. It's really beautiful. So we haven't quite come up with a name yet. I'll come up with that in a later video, I'm sure. But it might have something to do with with the view, or down in the valley, or something. Not quite sure yet, but it's part of the joy of doing projects like this when you're building it in your yard. Is you just get to kind of think about how you're going to do it and what you're going to do next. I remember thinking about how I'm going to publish this or when to publish it. And the next day was the day I was going to pick up well, actually this day, I did this morning, and I picked up the outfitter's tent from Davis Tent this afternoon. And here I am recording the audio overlay for this. There's me cutting those boards and chopping them all off. And this is the end of the video. There's my deck. This is the screw we've been looking for. The last one. Here it is, it's done. We got our deck done, we got our platform done, leveled off, squared, ready to go. And today, this afternoon, I'm driving up to Denver to pick up my Davis tent to put on here. And that'll be the next video where we talk about how we put the Davis tent on the platform, and then things start looking real. So we'll see you then. So like and subscribe, of course, and we'll see you for the next video at the Glamping Guy.